Recording in progress. call to order the Design Review Board meeting of December the 6th, 2022. First, I'd like to ask if we could all do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next, I'd like to introduce our team from the city and the board members.
Shubha Jangam, Senior Planner.
Michael Cardiman, Planner 2.
Casey Robinson, Bethany Bend.
Doug Haney, Bethany Way.
Reed Casey, Bethany Road.
Charlie Roberts, Freemanville Road.
Ken Warlick, Hipworth Road.
Rachel Greathouse, Hickory Flat.
Next, I'd like to ask the board if they can approve or amend, if necessary, the agenda for this evening.
Make a motion to approve the agenda for the Design Review Board meeting on December 6th.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, I'd like to get the board to approve or amend as necessary the meeting minutes of last month's meeting, Tuesday, November the 1st. Any amendments? Any discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from last month's meeting,
Second.
November 1st.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, now we'll get into the first part of our meeting this evening, and that's demolitions. Item 5A is the first on our agenda, 2395 Bethany Bend. Would the applicant come forward?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'm Scott Reese from Reese & Associates, doing business at 13685 Highway 9, Milton, Georgia, 30004. Here tonight representing Mr. Levitan and his application to remove the existing structure on this 2+ acre parcel on Bethany Bend. It is a 1960s style brick ranch, just kind of dated in its use and its appearance. So they would like to remove this structure and build another one back. There are also two outbuildings that are non-compliant, meaning they're built into the building setback line. So we need to remove those to bring everything into compliance where they can go forward with a rebuild. So you should have pictures and a site plan that show you all the minutia and details on that. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer those. Thank you.
Do we have any opposition to this case?
No.
Hearing no opposition, I will close the public hearing and ask the board for their discussion and their opinions. Hearing none, I guess I would ask for a motion to approve item 5A.
I'll make a motion to approve the demolition at 2395 Bethany Road.
I'll approve.
Bethany Bend, excuse me.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. The case is approved.
Oh, it's interesting.
Next item is 5B, another
House was
demolition
last week.
at 15285 Bell Park Drive.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'm Scott Reese from Reese & Associates, doing business at 13685 Highway 9, Milton, Georgia, 30004. I'm here tonight representing Mr. Aaron Hold in his application to remove the existing residence at 15285 Bell Park Road. This is a little different house. It was started in construction by, this was formerly a family compound. They started the house, there was a divorce in the family, the house sat in the middle of construction for several years. It kind of got rebuilt and it's been dressed up and all. Mr. Aaron Hold is a licensed architect, and there is severe internal structural damage on this structure. So he cannot, in good conscience, remodel or do anything with, so we've got to take it down, all the way down. So you've got pictures. It's, from outward appearances, it's a pretty nice looking house, but it has structural problems that he in his professional capacity has discovered. So that being said, we need to remove that structure to replace it. So once again, you have pictures, site plan that details the minutia of the lot. And if you have any questions, I will be glad to answer those. Thank you.
Do we have any opposition to this case?
No.
Hearing no opposition, I'll close the public hearing and ask the board for their opinions or motions.
Just say, glad you cleared that up for me, because from the outside, it didn't look too bad. So I do understand structural integrity, and
So I think we're all in the same place. Do I have a motion to approve this?
make a motion to approve the demolition for 6B V 22-271445 Thompson Road. No, excuse me, 15285 Bell Park Drive.
And it's item 5B. to
5B,
clarify the
sorry,
record.
sorry.
5B.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
And then the
Thank you.
parties.
Yeah.
Now we're going to move to a different topic here, and that is courtesy reviews, where we are reviewing for architecture and site planning and the things that we do, and making a recommendation only to the BZA. We will not vote on these cases. We'll just recommend. And send those recommendations will be sent on to BZA. The first item under courtesy reviews is 6A, 13845. Is that Battle or Beetle Road?
Brittle.
Brittle Road. All right, is the applicant here?
Gentlemen, lady. My name's Steve Laboda. I am owner of Capstone Building Group on behalf.
Can you state your name and address?
My name is Steve Laboda. My address, my business address or residential? My residential address, 797 Bell L Drive, Alpharetta, Georgia, 30009. I'm here to represent Mr. and Mrs. Peter Jackson of 13845 Brittle Road, who wish to erect a beekeeper's barn in their front yard. As there's limited space in the rear yard and a nice stand of trees, septic system. The house is on a large parcel of land, 4+ acres, and sits way back in the back. The structure, which you have some drawings on, is meant to be designed from a standpoint of being very rustic in nature, and some neat aspects to that is that all of the beam material on the outside of the structure has been sourced by some of the white oaks off my property and some of the white oaks that have been having to take down for other structures off the Summit Road, where that's all going to be stained oak columns, as you can see on the front of the structure and along the port side. The current house has some cedar shake on it that is stained. So the staining is meant to match the existing structure, black Marvin windows along with a metal roof in a color of black. So all stained, all very natural and neutral colors, earth tones, if you will. Stone is the same way. The stone will match the existing structure stone for the existing residence.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any opposition to this case?
We do not.
All right, hearing no opposition, we'll close the public hearing. And I might make a statement on this one. And that is, with all the homeowners in approval and all the good letters, well documented and well written, the hardship of the house being in the very back, and then the great architecture by the world famous Timothy Bryan, who does great work. This is a beautiful structure. Tim does excellent work. And with the package we have, I would say the board will ring in on this, but my vote would be, or my wish would be that BZA approves this as submitted. We get a lot of variances that are difficult to believe in or want to do. This is excellent work. All the neighbors approve it. Hardship with the house in the back and the cute barn out front. I think this is a great request that should get approved. Board members, other discussion?
Unanimous approval to have it done by the surrounding neighbors. It's kind of hard not to
That looks great.
suggest.
I mean, I think it goes in line with what we're trying to do as a city. I mean, more barns, more of that field. Plus, I mean, worst case scenario, if they say no, you subdivide it in 2 pieces of property. Could you do that and put a barn on the front piece?
I don't think you can.
I think
subdivide
there
it.
might be some limitations.
Oh,
with
a
the
gravel
stream,
road
but
has to be 4 acres? Is that what I remember?
3, you have to have a
acres?
minimum of 3 acre per in order to facilitate being on a gravel road.
Yeah, it's
Well, I-
5.5 acres is a total site.
Right.
And
And so, I mean, it's almost,
Michael, let's make sure our discussion here really goes to BZA. This should happen. As Doug points out, this is what we want. I didn't mention, it's 5 acres. That's what we want. I mean, we have everything here is what we want in Milton, a big piece of property. Let's get another building on it. I hate to subdivide 35-foot flag lot. So let's really give a strong recommendation to BZA. This architecture, homeowner approval, 5 acres, makes all the sense in the world.
I just had a question. It looks like the front of the barn will be facing the house. Did you do that just because it kind of tapers down, I guess, down to that pond, sort of the low side, the back side is just the basement side
Yes,
that faces the road?
The grade of the property is high to low to the street, so that there's an entrance on the front side in order to bring in his equipment. He has tractors and things like of that nature. And also that there, I happen to know the little pond next to it was my personal. At one point in time, lived at that residence for 10 years and put in a farm pond there. So in this case, he has a porch area off to the side with 2 16-foot sliding glass doors that will look out over it. So it's situated for a couple reasons. One is to take advantage of the views he would have, and also it minimizes the footprint or the elevation viewable from the street, because there's a big stand of trees along the creek that is about 150 to 200 feet away, and that it minimizes cutting down on the visual aspects of being out of scale with his existing home if it went side to side.
All right, I think you have our recommendation.
I just have a quick question.
Sure.
I was confused at first. This is more for staff. It says to allow a proposed accessory structure to remain in the front of a primary house. Should it not be constructed in front
Yeah,
of it?
it is we require the accessory structures to be on the side or rear, but this is in the front of it's in the front yard.
Right, I guess I was just confused because it says to remain, so I wasn't sure if it was built or
Right. We could just say exist. Maybe that'd be more
to be
forward-thinking.
constructed,
Yeah.
you know.
10-4. Yeah.
And will this have to go back in front of the review board for the architecture of this or no?
No,
No.
Okay.
we've got some good architects. Tim's.
Yeah,
drawings.
I have no doubt this is going to be a good looking structure. I was just curious about that. So,
Okay. You got our recommendation. Good luck at BZA.
Appreciate your time and consideration.
thank you.
Tonight.
thanks.
It's a good packet.
Very good packet. Item 6B, 14455 Thompson Road. The applicant here?
Hi, Alistair Rambo. I'm at 14455 Thompson Road in Milton. And we're requesting the variance for an existing barn that has been there since 1988, roughly. So we purchased the house in 2019, moved here from California to have our dream horse farm. We actually rescued horses and donkeys, which are currently on the property. There's a 60 by 60 barn that was constructed, I guess a little bit too close to the property line. It's a beautiful, what I would consider a beautiful barn, as you can see in the pictures. But as it houses animals, it's sort of a weird layout in the fact that there's actually 3 flagged driveways beside it. And so the barn is actually 100 feet from the first inhabited property. The others are just driveways or pseudo driveways from the flag lots when the lot was divided in 1988. So we're requesting to keep the barn as is and keep our animals happy.
Okay. Any opposition to this case?
No opposition.
All right, with that, I'll close the public hearing and ask the board for discussion.
Yeah, I'm pretty familiar with this property. I don't see any reason why this shouldn't happen. I mean, it seems silly that you're,
My only,
What brought this about?
that's my question.
A shed permit through
Yeah,
staff.
another building on the other side that we want to put up, replacing one that fell down.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Doug, you got
No.
anybody? So no means you're recommending,
Yeah, I have
It's a-
no, yeah,
Beautiful barn.
agreed.
Mhm.
It's, yeah, grandfather, it's just matter of fact. Yeah, let's,
all right, Ken, make the recommendation to Michael so he can carry it to BZA.
I will make the recommendation to approve 14455 Thompson Road, 6B.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
yeah.
All right, so now we're going to change again, and we're going to move into final reviews. And item 7A is the first in this category, 3200 Heritage Walk, Market District, Building 3. We saw this last month, or this was before us last month, and it was postponed. And since that time, I've had a chance to go look at this system at another location that you all have done the work on. It was very good. As chairman, I'm sensitive to this because every restaurant and lots of different uses are wanting patios and enclosures, and especially after COVID. So in the history, we approved the structure over this, and it was structural steel and a permanent structure, and that is going to continue to be here. The only topic and the only thing we're approving tonight is a canvas infill that's going to allow them to protect it from the weather. And again, I've seen their work at another location in Canton, and it's very good work. And I think this sets a standard for what we would expect. There are places that have curtains and they're just flopping in the wind, and they've been put up probably without a permit in Milton and Alpharetta. And so this sets a standard for what we would expect staff when it comes in. So from my point of view, listening to everybody on the board here, I think this is a good decision. We in Milton all like to dine outdoors. And if it's wind blowing and nasty, we would like to have this protection. So I'm going to get the board to discuss and make the recommendation for us to vote on.
They're going to go right between the building 2 and building 3 where the kind of retaining wall for building 2 is already done. So
Correct.
that's going to be the patio right there.
Correct.
Okay. Actually, was that Community Burger out at the mill a couple weeks ago?
This is distinctly different than what we talked about at the end of last meeting, where it was concerned that it was going to be an awning over the top that was soft in structure, right? It's the hard
let him
structure
finish.
that was already proposed and approved is still intact. This is nothing more than the walls to hem it in. Is that right?
That's correct. Yes, nothing has changed regarding the existing approved steel structure and metal awning. This is just an infill system that will sit just inboard of that steel structure.
Which was our concern, that it maybe came to us first with just canvas above the metal. Did it come that way?
I don't think so. I think probably in our description where we're describing what was previously approved, which may have been confusing in that we were then moving on to talk about what we were actually requesting, which was the infill enclosure system. So that may have muddied the description a little bit.
All right, but for the record, and making sure we answer Doug's question, this is a structural steel roof and supports, and it's an infill system as shown in all your good working drawings. And it's an infill system that could be removed in the future easily.
That is correct.
Is it similar to the one over at Marlowe's at Avalon? If you're familiar, sorry.
These pictures at Community Burger, it looks like it. Yeah.
I've been to this one out at the mill. It's, I mean, that I think looks great. I was out there last week. I have 3 clients out there. So it's one of those things. As long as they're open and collapsible and
I think it looks great.
yeah.
I just have a question. The plastic material that's on it's hard to tell in the photos. Is it a black part? Is it a reflective plastic or is it more of a cloth denim?
So the black part itself is actually a stretched canvas.
Stretched
The only
canvas.
plastic portion is the acrylic panel, which is kind of like the window that's set inside of each one of these.
Yeah, the reflective part on the window, the see-through part, I don't mind as much. I just wanted to make sure that the black part below it didn't look too reflective, too black.
I
Like a
would say
matte
it's
one.
matte fabric.
Yeah.
I think from my point of view is as we start to get more retail and more restaurants and stuff like that, this is a good indicator of what we would like to see moving forward because, we do have weather like this, but I would imagine in Georgia, most of our weather is pretty decent. So those would be open and you'd still have the architectural aspects of the building. So I think the intent is to obviously, help utilize year-round patrons and certain weather, but obviously I think it wouldn't be held down the whole time too. So, and it's a far better cry from what I have seen around Milton. And for us to kind of use this as a precedence, I think is a good call.
So coming out from the building for that retaining wall, is that going to be wide enough for an egress pass through? Something to get to even side of that? Because you're really not going to see these front 3 windows unless you go to the side of that building.
That's
closer.
correct.
You're
That's
basically going to
correct.
see the 2 side windows on the front and the back.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of think the whole front of that thing is essentially blocked by a wall unless you walk by that wall outside of the patio.
Good point. That's a very good point. Any more discussion? All right, let's get the board's pleasure. Can I get a motion to approve or deny?
I'll make a motion to approve 7A Community Burger Market District for the structure as proposed.
I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Motion's carried.
Great. Thanks, you guys.
Congrats.
Yep, take care.
All right, next is 7B and C. Shuba, do we need to hear these separately?
Yeah, but they are LDP and a building for the same property. And a building has been reviewed before. I think it was in 2019 that you saw, and you had some comments, and I actually included that in the packet, what comments were given in 2019 and what kind of elevation was proposed. And I think most of the comments were improve the backside, and so they have now improved the backside. Oh, don't put it over there, just take it to the
Next month.
And we have this, and what he's putting up, we have in our package.
Yeah, it's the same thing. They have
a
it,
year.
so don't worry about it.
We have it. So,
June of 18.
yes, sir. We're
Good afternoon.
gonna,
My
just
name-
for the record, we're going to hear case 7B, Highway 9 Retail and Office, on its own merits, and that's the LDP.
Yes, sir.
And that's the only topic on this case now. Okay?
Yes, sir. We have, my name is Tony Sofastai. I live at 1270 Crest Valley Drive in Sand Spring. And this site has been a long story. I developed this site for townhomes in 2008. And of course, that time we had recession. We end up to give all the lots and the houses to the bank. Only that section left on, and we didn't want to do anything with it until the time gets better. So later on, a couple of years later, I came and tried to put 6 townhomes. And the city decided they don't want no townhomes in Highway 9. So they rejected, and I went again and tried to do duplex and tried to make the front of the building like a retail. They decided they don't want that. So they told me I can have retail in the bottom and 2-story on the top as a condo. So I brought the plan, then they decided they don't want 3-story. So I went and changed it, and I brought you a plan. I think it's 2008, and you are approved the front elevation. Then later on, we find out DOT is gonna widen the road, and they are gonna take 2 feet of the front. So we brought the plan to the city also. It was almost ready to be approved. Then we find out, no, they are taking 25 feet up front as a construction easement. So we did the new drawings and all that, and that's the new drawings you are seeing in your package. And we are also, because we lost a lot of space, we want to be requesting for 10% reduction on parking lot, get a variance on parking lot.
Okay. Again, we're hearing the LDP.
Yes.
And this is before us, and obviously staff will make sure that they're meeting all the codes and all the requirements and all the runoff and all those things will be met. So with that said, I don't have a problem with this LDP drawing. And what's the board think on the LDP part of this?
It says site and landscape LDP. I'm not seeing a landscape. Well, I guess I am.
There is one.
Yeah, okay.
Again, we're relying on staff to make sure this meets all of our codes, and staff does that great. So,
Yeah, they had lots of parts, like even they have to take care of the stormwater, and it's really challenging because this is small and a lot of the land has been taken. And even for the height, this is T4 limited, T5 limited. So they couldn't even go 3-story high. They had to be 2-story only. So
all right, with staff.
A question.
Yes, sir.
It looks like the dumpster location is right to the very, very south part, kind of backing up to where the Henderson Landing townhomes are. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, but it's going to be some landscaping in the back of the, I guess, brick wall. So that nobody will see it.
There's a brick wall in between the townhomes and this property?
There is going to be a brick wall for the dumpster.
Oh, okay.
So the behind the dumpster, around the brick wall, we're going to landscape.
What is the black strip to the right of the dumpster?
that is all
Stormwater.
stormwater stuff.
Okay.
The only reason the dumpster is there for the truck to be able to take the trash easy,
Kind of back in.
backing up, yes, sir.
I don't know where else you could put it, but. Yeah.
So we're going for a 10% reduction in the parking, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is that on this request?
That's on it. So it's administratively approved by Bob.
Got it, okay,
So it's been approved.
got it. Yeah, I don't see any issue with it.
Can the board give us a motion? Ken? We're voting on this.
Yeah.
As long as everyone, no other comment? I will make a motion to approve 7B,
Yeah.
7B, Highway 9 Retail and Office LDP review for Archmont Place, Milton.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And we'll move to the next case, and that's 7C, Highway 9 Retail and Office. And we have a packet of renderings before us. And do you have anything you'd like to say?
No, sir, as you see, you got the package, it shows the elevation, the colors, and all the material goes with the building.
Do we have any opposition to this case? Hearing none, I close the public hearing and ask the board to review these and give us your thoughts and opinions.
Do we have any other burgundy roofs on that?
Yeah,
strip?
I was looking at that too.
I've never seen a burgundy roof, but maybe that is more popular than I
Colors.
remember. Is
don't
that
think I've
just
ever-
on the metal part on the very, very top middle section?
Yes, it's just some small area of the,
Right.
I'm glad you brought that up because I actually had a question to that too.
Yeah, me too. I was like,
I would think that a dark bronze
yeah, this
probably
dark
be more
brown.
appropriate.
Normal weathered
Yes,
wood
sir.
with a burgundy top.
All
yeah,
right, let's,
because it will fade and get lighter too. You know, it'll get
and
kind of
maybe that's
red.
not, maybe it's not appropriate for Milton, I think, is what I'm hearing. So you
What would
all-
be there in black?
Kind of like I would do like a charcoal gray, like,
Charcoal?
yeah, like a charcoal. The
Do
kind
you
of.
have any opposition
saying for
to
the
that?
metal?
Is there any reason why
Yeah,
that
with
wouldn't
the
be?
roof, like I would
So a
do.
dark bronze is actually more of a
Mm-hmm.
black tint to it. And it doesn't
The
fade
bronze-
as much as say
bronze.
like just a stark.
It
Any
all-
color.
Yeah,
it
no
goes
stark
up
black, like
almost-
something with a
You
little
can do any
mix in
color
it.
you are
When it goes up,
requesting,
it almost looks
bronze,
black,
Little
but it
gray
has
is-
a brown
dark.
tint to it, right?
That's correct, yeah. And it would,
There's a lot
it
of
pairs
different
very well
options.
with the weatherwood shingles.
Yes.
Also with this, in fact, I'm, a house right now that has this exact brick
Mhm.
with the weathered wood shingles and the dark bronze metal roof, which is, it just ties it together. So I agree with you. I think my recommendation would be to do either a dark bronze. I would probably say a dark bronze metal roof instead of the burgundy. I think the burgundy is just going to be too stark of a contrast.
Mhm.
And I can't think of, like you said, another roof that has that. I think it'll be too red, too prominent.
Yeah, and it's gonna fade and get really red.
no problem, sir. We can do dark brown.
All right, so we've got one point that we're going to vote on in a minute and amend your design package here. Is there any other points the board would like to discuss?
One thing I would have liked to have seen is maybe just a particular light, exterior light fixture. Your renderings show them. I really like the placement of those. It would have been nice to have
Actual.
a detail or a cut sheet of the actual light fixture.
Are you planning on, you're getting this approved after all these years of problems?
Yes, sir.
Is this ready to start construction? Is
Yes,
this,
sir. Actually, I have a customers trying to buy it and build it, and the gentleman's here. And as far as the light, if you want to, right before we start putting the light, we can bring the light, let Bob look at it, or anybody look at it, see if you are okay with it.
and let me ask the board one more time to be clear about the light. You're wanting something more, what?
Like an actual dimensions.
A
It is a
cut,
detail.
It is
Yeah.
exactly.
cut sheet, you're wanting a cut sheet of
Yes.
the actual light fixture.
No problem.
Shuba,
And the roof,
Can-
actually.
can this be approved with the understanding that staff reviews that light fixture
Yeah.
and approves it, so it doesn't have to come back to us?
Yeah. Do you want something similar that's shown or you want something totally different?
Yeah, I think really from my point of bringing that up is that, to me, the light fixture looks great. It looks part of that building. But if we are kind of critiquing the exterior elevation of this, as far as the design and architecture of it, I feel like if we don't stipulate that, then you could go in and put some funky modern lights and stuff that would completely take away from the rest of the building. So I think really that was my purpose in kind of bringing that up.
Are there gutters
Yeah, so I was looking
in
at
the building?
Excuse me?
Are there gutters?
Yes, sir.
And are the gutters going to be the same
Dark bronze.
dark brown that Ken
Yeah.
suggests? Okay, so
Yes.
the metal roof and cornice includes the
That's
gutter color. Perfect.
We can actually put the size of the light if you all want to. We can put it on the record. The light has to be this size, like the width and the height.
Let's leave that to staff to look at the
Yeah,
size
I think that'd
and the actual light fixture before you get a permit.
Around the corner from there.
And the actual roof color.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the
that
metal
can be-
roof.
And around the corner
Definitely.
from there is where we just approved.
very modern look.
Like a
All right,
specific,
any
you know
more?
what I mean? Because it, a lot of browns.
Yeah. The manufacturer.
Yeah.
Liquor store right up there.
And also the specific roof color.
This,
If we could, we're recording this and microphones and one at a time talking, so it's recorded in case there's ever a dispute or a disagreement. And we sort of have a quorum sitting here doing all this discussion off record.
Sorry.
oh,
We want to be on record.
sorry.
All right, so Ken,
Yeah, so
I think you're lining up to make this motion with some changes and some additions. So let's think through any more additions, any more alterations to this plan?
that would be my comment is to.
Make a motion. You're going to make a motion, right? You got to
Yes.
vote on it.
Okay, so I will make a motion to approve the building review for Highway 9, 7C, Highway 9 Retail and Office, 0 Archmont Place, with conditions of modifying the burgundy metal roof and cornice to a dark bronze. With staff approval?
That's a condition.
Yeah, so
Bronze.
dark bronze, you okay with that?
Yeah, just wanted to see what it would look like specifically. That's all. I didn't know if there was a specific, I don't know.
All right,
that
so
can-
dark bronze.
And a cut sheet detail a specific selection of light fixture for the exterior of the exterior of the building.
And
Can we add one more thing to that cut sheet too? The railing on the back?
let me finish the light.
Oh, sorry.
And that cut sheet and light shall be approved by staff.
Yeah. You mean by during the permitting process, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's not going to happen until it's permitted.
Yeah.
And so when they're permitting it, they can bring you that, so it's in stock and they can really get the light fixture that we want. And staff needs to approve the size and look.
Can we do the exact same thing with the railing on the backside too? Have staff approve
Material.
the materials for that railing?
Yeah, you might put in the conditions so staff knows what you want. That would be aluminum railing, so it doesn't rust.
Mm-hmm.
So aluminum railings, matching the picture. Are you good with that?
Matching the picture and the lights. Just want to make sure it's all the same color and, yeah.
Okay, so we've got some modification to Ken's motion.
Do I start over?
I got 3, right?
Okay,
Yeah, so that's enough.
okay.
Who's seconding?
Oh, is everybody good with, anybody see anything else they want documented?
Did we get a second?
Not yet. They're not, they may be still
then-
adding.
I'm still thinking.
Doesn't Doug has a frown, so I'm assuming
I'm
he's
just,
thinking.
it's, I guess I'm still wrapping my head around how close it is to the street, but I understand you've lost a lot
It's
of road
actually
frontage
going to
because
be
They
close to
require-
35 feet from the street.
They're
something like-
required to be upfront at the street.
yeah.
Mhm.
And we've approved the LDP, so that's off the table.
Right, I know. Yeah. I'll second Ken's motion as revised by everybody.
Amended, as
Amended.
amended.
And is this also subject to the architectural review through permitting for the view shed or no?
Not a view shed, but since you are approving it, we're gonna make sure that they build it the way you
Okay,
guys
so-
approved it, yeah.
Right.
It's not necessary for us to condition it to this exact,
Yeah, you can,
It
because
will
it's
be.
already, that's the process. yeah.
got it, okay. Okay.
And it is conditioned to this. We're approving this building with
Exactly,
conditions.
with this
Yep.
picture, yeah.
Yep.
And this is why we want renderings in these meetings, because this is what we've approved. Anything other than this with the conditions can't be permitted.
Mhm.
If they
Okay.
make changes, we literally make them come back to you to ask for approval.
Got it, okay.
So again, I'll second Ken's motion as amended a couple of times.
3 times.
3 times.
So with that, do I have a,
We get a second?
okay?
We
All in
already got a
favor?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Good luck after all these years. It's
Goodness.
very nice
Thank you so
on a
much.
very difficult
Appreciate
site.
your time.
So
Wait on it for
um,
4 years.
let me take this moment here. We'll let him get finished.
While he's doing it, can I ask a question about one of our cases from tonight? What is the history around us not wanting barns in the front of a house?
What is our history? Say again your question.
What is the history as to why?
Wait a
It's
minute.
not,
Wait
it's
a
not a
minute. Wait.
history.
Wait a minute. What's your question?
It's not a question I should ask.
Go
No,
for
so I was wondering if I should jump in here because you guys kept saying barn, but it technically is an accessory structure because it doesn't house livestock, cows, chickens. Bees do not fall under the livestock category. So technically it's just an accessory structure. And accessory structures are,
storage, essentially.
right, are not allowed in the front of a primary residence.
So I can understand not wanting a shed.
But a barn could be in the front, but
Correct.
it's not a barn. It's a beekeeper's
So that's why I had
So
to come.
called it and put horses in there, right? And then it's a barn, then it,
So it came to us because it doesn't have livestock. It has bees, which I think most people would consider, oh, then that makes it a barn. You're saying that doesn't make it a barn.
correct. And if they
That's
had
why it
horses,
came-
they had to be 100 feet from the property line instead of 50.
Got it.
So they'd have to bump it over more. So
The
you're robbing
real-
Peter to pay
Okay,
Paul.
I'm just looking, yeah, because I was like, gosh, that,
Right.
okay, that makes
If
more
there's
sense.
animals in it, it's 100 feet. That's the
Right.
key thing.
Yeah, yeah, okay, all right.
So it was just a good thing that it looked like a barn, but it could have looked like a shed, and then we can't give them that by right. you
Sure.
know, So,
Okay, that gets your question?
Yes, it did, thank you.
Let me take a minute here. Shuba, the written approval by neighbors has gotten much better. The packages have come a long way in the last 12 months from where we were 2 years ago. They just weren't acceptable. And so I want to compliment whoever's doing that, you, Michael. The packages are showing us a lot more. 4 years ago, we discussed how many things are being built out there. The colors are changing. This is changing, the architect, because we just had rough sketches. And we really ask staff to make sure these got better. This was one of the best meetings with really good documents. And so keep doing the good job you're doing. And if they bring you sketches and junk and napkins, reject it. Don't bring it to us because we'd like to get tougher and tougher on having good renderings. And then at permit time, it's real easy to say, is he doing what he got approved? So these packages tonight were really, there was a lot to like in all of these packages. You know, we're used to Scott Reese, and some people just do a great job for years and some people don't. And so this little gentleman here with all these problems, he still has a great architect, Piper O'Brien. We got color renderings that let us see the burgundy up here. if that would have been just black and white, we might not have caught that. He might have put burgundy up there, and we would have just assumed it was going to be bronze. So again, color renderings in the world today with SketchUp and the architecture tools we have, there's no reason to approve things that aren't this well documented. Makes everybody's job better, and Milton's better in the long term. For what if we see at this level and it goes in the file, then you all got a tool to not permit something or bring it back to us if they want to change it. So I wanted to cover that.
Can I add something to that? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
sure you can.
I agree with you on that one. It's just, even since I kind of started here, they've gotten much better. I think the only thing that I probably would have rather have been included on that last one is the actual building plans. I know that they're going to have to turn those in. There is a lot of like herringbone details, column details and stuff like that. That's why I asked the question, is it going to be built like that? So I assume when they do build or bring in their building plans, it will have those architectural details to mimic that rendering. Okay.
And I'm sure all of you know, but Piper O'Brien's the one that did all of Adams' buildings in Crabapple. They're superb. Chuck is just really talented. And as Ken points out, all this nice detail, we want that to show up because it makes Milton better long term. So that's all good. Let me mention that we're moving forward with the district in January. Why don't you give them, 2 or 3 of us know about it, but not everybody on the board. And remember, DRB, in rejecting the demo permits, drove the district coming about because we chose 4 years ago to turn down those demo permits for those houses. And so tell them, and let's be on public record on what's happening
Right,
now
yeah.
with the district.
We are excited to tell you that we are going to start our public engagement part of the project. We've been doing all the prep work all this time. The public engagement part will start in January. We have 3 dates decided, and this morning I sent out the save the date, but we'll be adding more details to that. January 19th, February 9th, and March 2nd, we will be holding public workshop for the district of Mayfield's concept plan. So I invite you to join, participate in that public workshop. You are the DRB member. Charlie is on the steering committee. Ken is on the steering committee. And I also invited Doug because there was an opening and he was interested. So, but I want all of you, and I'm also inviting all the planning commission members to be there because council really wants this project finished in 6 months, really. So we are on an expedite schedule. And we want you to participate in this workshop so that when we come back here in the adoption cycle, when we come back here and go to planning commission, we don't get any setbacks. We can just move smoothly.
And I would say too, on the steering committee, I wanted Jeff on there, who's president of the Historical Society, Milton Historical Society. So Jeff's on that steering committee. And as Shuba said, planning commission and BZA members and the public at large will be in all those meetings so that the district's well thought out and everybody gets a chance in those 3 meetings to voice their thoughts and ideas, including the landowners that will be there. So it should be a great process, longer getting to this point than I would have liked after 6 months. But and we do have to get an extension here in December of the moratorium.
Yeah.
So, because it's expiring.
I can't believe it's been that long already.
Yeah, it expires in December. So that's going to be a little bit of friction, I think, here in 2 or 3 weeks when the council has to vote on that. We know there's a couple of landowners that don't want it extended. So, but hopefully with their wisdom, they will extend it. We'll go into these meetings and figure out this great district, and everybody will be ringing in on it. And again, DRB gave us the tools to turn down the demo, gave me the chance to work with the developer, and gave me a chance to create this district or suggest the district, which now we're going to really create. And if you got any thoughts, come to the meetings, and all of us are engaged citizens, and this could be really something special. So everywhere I'm going, I'm encouraging everybody to come and discuss. And what do you want? What kind of restaurant or what kind of shops or what kind of buildings? Or are the buildings too tall now? Do you love 3 stories? What do you love as citizens and these 3 boards? And what do you want to see in our city? And
It's actually
really,
fun to have these conversations because folks want to know what's going on. And when you can kind of share, this is what we're envisioning. Like, well, what does that mean? Well, what do you want that to mean? Like, what matters to you? Like, those are cool conversations
they
to
are.
have.
Well, not only that, it's preemptive because that way it gives opportunity for people to come and express what they want.
Absolutely.
So down the line, when that developer does come through and looks to develop this, then it's in line with kind of what the intent of what Milton wants. And then there was that opportunity for people to kind of share their thoughts, right?
It gives them some ownership, give them something to feel proud about when it does get to that point and it's been built. Like that's a great thing for the community for sure.
Yep.
And the reason it took little longer because we wanted to get the right consultant, and we have consultant now, TSW, who actually worked on the Crabapple's placemaking plan. This all was, the consultant was part of the planning this downtown. So we already have a good history with him, success with the planning. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be good.
But he seemed kind of disappointed a little bit on some of the stuff that was done that wasn't or was in his original proposal. I watched the presentation.
Yeah.
But also, too, they seemed.
He just complained of the bike lane, but in
Yeah.
general, everything was built very well.
Do they think that they'll be able to meet that timeline?
Yeah, we got the confirmation. We gave them the dates and we have them already scheduled.
Well, and council's been clear, they want to get this done. And part of that is council's sensitive to, we're tying up these landowners and we need to be responsive to them. So, and this is going to be really great, especially for the developer with all the land. He will get to hear at these meetings what people in the community want. And the way to lease your buildings is make sure you're bringing services and restaurants and the things to the community that the community wants. So it's going to be exciting to move this along in January, February, March, and be there by May and June so that the new codes are in place and everything's accomplished by summer.
I'm going to miss that second meeting. I'm out of town.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Okay.
I'll be at the first.
But
and
we'll
third.
probably have a bigger group, so
Right.
it will be fine.
I'll miss the first one.
Please don't do that.
That's why there's
When is
three,
it?
that's why there's 3 of us from DRB on that.
The first one,
January 19th, February 9th, and March 2nd.
that's every 3 weeks after that first one. And
Oh.
it's the 9th, February 9th is when I'm missing. They're
Well, you will
Thursdays
still
at
hear
4
about
o'clock.
it because we'll come back here with the plan. These are the dates for the public workshop.
And the exciting thing for DRB is the zoning's in place, the land's there. It's really the architecture, the sidewalks, the landscaping, the walkability, which is our calling to really worry about those things because it's all zoned already.
Yep.
And it's already zoned a very high density. So it's all about how we feel about how it should work. And you all will ring in on that as we go forward. So that's that. So I wanted to cover that. Again, staff's doing a great job of improving the packages, as Ken's pointed out, being a builder, making sure that herringbone and the things are there. It takes a drawing, not a sketch, to be able to enforce our quality. I'm especially touchy about all this because I lived in Sandy Springs 30 years. We had a cute little city and we didn't pay enough attention to a lot of this. And we have a lot of things there we wish we didn't have over those years. So we don't want that to happen in Milton. It takes monthly coordination and being on top of these drawings. And once the developers really understand the level we want to be at, I call it Milton's brand, which Bob invented. And so Bob created this over the last 10 or 15 years. We're the gatekeepers that need to make sure it continues. And you can't do that without great drawings. So thank you. And then the letters are much better than, oh, I've got the approval of all the neighbors. Well, have you got it in writing? No. But I talked to Susan and Larry and Billy and we don't know if that's true or not. And
Right.
we especially we're
Michael's getting
concerned.
very strict with the letters. We want it in writing.
The maps for the check boxes are pretty awesome. Like I mean, that just makes the conversation go much quicker. For
Well,
sure.
and then this year, we had the incident where we were told a lot of things and you found out all that wasn't true.
Right.
So that was a great example
Shady.
of what we
But
need to
that,
do.
we're still dealing with that greenhouse.
I know. I'm aware.
And I checked the assessor's website now as well, when I get a letter in, just to be safe that the person signing it over matches.
Good. Hey, I have a question. So I think a number of the things that we courtesy review and recommend approval to BZA, they end up not approving. Is there any way to kind of, in retrospect, understand where we've said, yes, we support something, and BZA has said not approved, so that we can get a feel for what we're thinking they should be approving, and then maybe, I think a case in point would be there was a tennis court last month or the month
Mhm.
before.
Approved.
Yeah,
just
got
they
deferred.
Deferred it first because they wanted to make sure that, they work back again with us to reduce the encroachment. That's all their concern was. So
The subsequent month that did get approved.
Right, they actually commented they like the aligned look better, which is what DRB said.
Uh-huh.
Out of the 25 cases they saw, 23 were approved. So the majority are getting approved.
Okay.
And I believe that one was,
Maybe I only hear about the ones that
Yeah.
don't like.
yeah, the
So
greenhouse,
That could be the case.
one you're referencing, and then Old Doris, those dilapidated buildings with the 2 denials for 2022.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes me feel better.
Yeah,
Okay.
they definitely took your comments into consideration, the alignment. They just wanted a less of an encroachment overall.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Hmm?
Feel better now.
That was the pool, yeah.
Pool and tennis court.
Pool and tennis court both. Exactly.
Mhm.
Okay. I feel better.
All right. Is there any old business?
no, but I just wanted to let you know I will be absent next meeting. I'm traveling. So Jackie will be here. And if more architectural stuff comes, like that office building that was sent out to work on, Bob will be here or Robin will be here. And hopefully you will.
Is that
I just wanted to be in the record that you gave Ken and I a hard time for missing a different meeting. And now you're saying
was
you're not going to
just
be at
thinking
one.
that.
So
My,
Like, start
my
feeling guilty.
vacation was pre-approved 6 months back.
Yeah.
just kidding, Sheila.
Is that building coming back next month?
Well, we met with them, but they're working on it, they'll come back when they're ready.
But not necessarily in January.
Not necessarily, yeah.
You talking
We
about the
won't
Reliant
know.
building or the?
The building on the corner across from the library.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Was it Reliance or Reliant or anyway?
Something like that.
Yeah. I think that's right.
Okay, then we can adjourn now.
All right, so
Okay.
that takes care of the old business. All right, can I get a motion to adjourn?
There'll be a meeting on November 6th.
Have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Thank you.